everyone here. We're just going to check sound and video before we begin. So at home, if you are watching, and thank you for your patience, we will check sound. So please let us know if you can hear us and see us. Seems that the microphone is doing well. And I'm going to know in a minute if we can be heard. And then, of course, we're going to begin. And somebody on the way Andrew asked, what are we going to do today? Andrew, we're back to basics. Yes, we're back to basics. Nothing complicated, but not easy. Basics are not easy because every time, right, spiral, every time that we are on basics, we have the opportunity to revisit exactly the same truth, simplicity, but at a higher level. To some degree, exactly what we need to do with everything in our life. To some degree. To some degree, life should not get any more complicated. We should just see more of it, have more value in it. Complicated is, expertise. Each person becomes expert at something. And for me, it's complicated. For them, it's a game they play, right? Computers, programming. Somebody's a game. And for me, it's like, Peter, hello. I'm here, but not sure. Oh, there's more. Not sure for how long. Sorry, Peter. Having the guests. Yes, I kind of briefly, congratulations. Peter's son got married. Congratulations, Peter, and your son, Vicky. Hello. Hello, hello. And Marco, hi, everything looks and sounds real good. Real good, as good as it gets. Jennifer, sound and video are good. Thank you so much. And Phil and Shirley, hello. Sound and video are good. Hello, Jerong. Welcome. Hello, everyone, she says. Jennifer, yes. All is good. Okay. So we will begin. And as we said, today, back to basics. Back to basics. Back to basics is very, very exciting because recently we've done the Lifeline Karma, and I found something very, very interesting that, with all my good intentions, I've set up the Lifeline Karma to be something, deep and important, which it is, right? I mean, imagine placing your past in front of you and everything that ever happened to you. And I didn't even tell you that we're placing our karmic past also, not only this life, but all other lives in front of us. If I would have told you that would be even more exciting. But here I am saying that, now we have an opportunity to place our past in front of us and to make it serve us. Not only that, at times you are even placing the past of somebody you love most, or you care most to see them grow. Sometimes somebody close to you, and sometimes somebody who's a stranger to you right now. To put them, sacrifice in a sense, to bring them closer. Right? Sacrifice is what we bring closer to them. So I've put it on such a pedestal which it belongs, but at the same time, what I've created a situation where advanced and very advanced students suddenly were holding back. Suddenly forgot the basics because of the excitement, because of the bar that we raised. Suddenly, as if they're, You've learned this all year, and now you come and it's a test, and you're frozen, right? And somehow all that which we said, the before, during, and after meditation will somehow disappear, right? It stayed at the level of knowing, but at the level of being, it didn't let us move forward. Am I making sense? And it happens over and over again. Every time there is a worthy challenge in front of us. Every time there's a worthy challenge in front of us, somehow we start better understanding where we really are at the level of being. We're being tested, right? And we forget the very basic. You come into every meditation, no expectations, right? No goal setting. How difficult is that when something's aching? How difficult is that when somehow emotionally you're not there? No pun intended, Peter. Right? I meant when you said you're not there, right? But this is a situation when we meet a situation where somebody who's close to us at some point acting as if they were a stranger to us. At that moment, we, thankfully so, when everything was a little better, or some other time, we have created a ritual. This is why rituals are so important. We've created a ritual, and what does ritual mean? Ritual means that no matter what happens, if the ritual is in the morning, then you do it in the morning. If the ritual is in the afternoon, you do it in the afternoon. If the ritual is in the evening, you do it in the evening. If it's 3 times a day, you do it 3 times a day. Doesn't matter what happens. The challenge happens, you do it. Everything is okay, you still do it. You don't wait for the challenge to inspire you, for the pain to inspire you, even though that's our nature. But this is why it is so important to create those rituals. So ritual is first. Second, of course, second to rituals, I don't know what's first. First is is to have the nation around you to ensure that whatever happens, wherever you are, to ensure that you don't feel alone at this, that you're always reminded of what we're doing right now. So I don't know what's first, nation or ritual, but somewhere probably together. It is very, very important. And then comes the actual meditation, right? And then we talk about meditation, and it's back to basics, right? So we talk about meditation, that we need to learn how to lift light. Did everybody hear the story of lifting light? I think so, at some point, yeah? That we have to recognize that even though we may not be 100% there in the meditation, or it seems to us, doing 100% effort is the only thing that your system needs. It doesn't know how much weight there is on the bar. It doesn't know. Right? I gave the example of lifting weights. And you place the weight on the bar, and then you don't feel strong, and you say, I'll just skip today. You don't skip today. You don't skip whether you're tired, or there's not enough time, or somebody's interfering, or you got up late, or you don't skip. Doesn't matter. You do. You do the best you can under the circumstances that you have. And only then, because then you receive the maximum benefit from the work itself. Not when it's easy, not when it feels great. That's not when the maximum benefit, even though it seems that would have been, but it's not. The maximum benefit is when you're challenged and you make 100%, 1,000% effort and commitment. Because guess where we're actually growing? We're not growing at satisfaction levels. We're not growing at joy of meditation, with all due respect to this. It's transformational. And transformational requires sensing those limits, sensing those limitations. And as soon as you come close to them, they, like the horizon, naturally move away from you. That's expansion in everything. So when is it easier to get to limitations? When it's easier, when it's tougher, right? Obviously. And that's so important. And as we said, now we reached a place where we talk about expectations. How can I not expect a meditation? Right? How can I not expect? Isn't that why I'm doing it? How do we explain that to ourselves? How do we overcome the hurdle of I have a challenge? Obviously, I've had that challenge for a long time, or it's a new challenge that seems to be important, and I have a ritual and I meditate, and how can I not expect certain results? How do we rationalize it? Anyone? Especially those who've recently been to my office. Anything is right. There is one that is more right probably than all. But any response is right. At home as well. I want to know, how do we rationalize when we are challenged, where maybe we have pain, emotional, mental, physical, when we have a challenge in our life? How do we rationalize not to have an expectation, or to truly open up and allow ourselves? Rada? How do we do that?
I'm supposed to have heard the question fully, but I haven't. So.
Okay. You know the answer. So about the answer of the question.
When you don't hear at all, when you hear part of the question, but it's like
Rather, if you go deep inside, your answer will match the question.
I think you have to have faith, right? To trust that kind of this is it.
Exactly how you trusted was to give me an answer without hearing the question. Thank you. Absolutely. Isn't that a good answer to the question? Absolutely. Thank you. Right. You have to trust it. But there's something that I added. Thank you. There's something that I trusted you to give the right answer too, right? I almost had to have faith, just as much, right? It's a mutual. See somebody at home, maybe nobody's giving us an answer. Is that a difficult question? Is that the challenge that we all have? Is that why it's so difficult to answer? I mean, faith, in a sense, is not something we can rationalize, right? Because if we rationalize, it's not faith. Evelina? Okay. Okay.
So the intent every single time opening a page.
A new page, absolutely. Faith, new page, Great.
To what degree you succeed to actually make this new page is different.
Right.
To me, especially when it's difficult times, I know that from the sessions that this is the time is actually most effective.
Right. When the most
Because of that, probably in my mind, I set up an expectation that should be bigger progress, but this is mental part. But during the meditation, it's pretty on and off. I don't know. I cannot say that I'm constantly in this state of, constant freedom, or it's on and off.
No, I'm not questioning. I always say that, when we're going to have 100% faith? When we no longer have the body. And that will not happen while we're alive. So, as long as you have a body, you will have the constraint that comes with it, the challenge that comes with it, the growth that it still needs, the potential that is still unfulfilled, the unity that is still not fully there, as long as you have a body. And at any moment, if you think that you've arrived, we have more problems than solutions at that point. As long as you have a body, everything goes. It's important to recognize that. Here we go. Marco is saying that it's tough. Got to keep the process even when not feeling it or seeing it. Right. All of those answers. Fresh page, have faith, keep the process even if you're not seeing it or feeling it. You can't waver. Marco keeps saying it. You can't waver in your commitment when challenged, or you will not break through. Absolutely. Right. Jurong is saying growth happens in the process of dealing with challenge. Yeah, that's where you're most inspired to do the work. That's when you're most inspired. To some degree, it has to break you first a little bit so you can allow growth to happen. Which ultimately means that the greater the challenge, like Andrew said, the easier it is. Because you don't have that strength anymore, and the know-how is not enough, and then you open to something. And I'm waiting for somebody to say it. We talked about definition. Here's Shirley, let's say. When I'm aware of expectation, I acknowledge the thought as part of the process, okay? And its purpose is to inspire me to return to the body. Right, that's the technique. And so the thought comes, the thought of I want some result, the thought of imagination of some kind of scenario, either positive scenario or negative scenario, it doesn't matter. And you use that which comes in your imaginations to bring yourself back to the experience of the body. That's the technique itself. Andrew says, open a fresh page. Rada says, look for the difference between believing and having faith. Because believing, you have to believe in something. Faith is, again, my English is not first language, like fifth, right? So in my vocabulary, believing, you have to have something to believe in, and faith is something that you have towards something that is not contained. All right? Somebody asked me, do you believe in this? I don't believe in anything. Because everything I believe in changes all the time. But I have faith that the next belief will be closer. So nobody is, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to send you everybody some replays. Those who were in my office recently. Okay, yes.
Well, I see this for myself
Yes.
as a long journey on the train. Like train has a lot of,
Stations.
stations, and I see as every single station as a new place that you actually enter. And traveling from one station to another one, you don't really know what's gonna be the next station because you can only imagine, but then it appears as something new.
Beautiful.
So it's like a long journey of this train that you travel and you don't really know the end of it. But every single station that you stop at, it's something new that you always experience.
Is it double decker? Sleeping cabin? You remember those? Yeah? Trans-Siberian line? Yeah? I used to give the example, thank you, Evelyn. I used to give the example of the train station, right? Of the train, except I used it a little bit differently. I said, whatever it is, don't get off it at the stations, right? Just look outside of the window, enjoy the ride, but don't get off at any of the stations, no matter how attractive it could be, right? Or how long it seems to stop. Don't get off. And of course, the old Russian saying, don't run in front of the train, right? Right, and that's a very relevant saying when it comes to our meditation. Let it happen as it happens. Right? You run in front of the train. You think you're faster.
Maybe you can rephrase the question, so maybe.
Yeah, I can rephrase the question now. I remember it. The question was, at the greatest time of challenge, we have a tendency, all of us, challenge or when I've done the lifeline karma and I kind of presented it as this high level of shift that we can experience by placing our past in front of us and now using it in our advantage as opposed to what survival state dictates, that every time we have a challenge, we put it behind us and move forward. Right? Now we've taken the past in front of us and recognize that it forever should be in front of us from now on. Forever. As we gain new energy, we vertically enjoy the new benefit from our past, right? Because, like we said, the wise, the age of the wise, right? That what makes, when you think of the wise men, definitely they're already with a stick, right? And they have that either long beard or they have no hair or whatever that image is that we have, but they're now have used their past as a resource and not as a what's that word? In accounting, liability. Yeah, as a resource, not as a liability. And I talked about what's going on today. You don't send your children to the elderly houses for gaining wisdom, the retirement homes. You don't. You don't. You send them there to see what will happen if they don't eat right and don't exercise, right? To some degree. I mean, it's not funny, but I'm trying to make a point here. So ultimately, the question was, at the toughest time, how do we make sure that we don't set limitations and expectations in our meditation? What is that inner dialogue saying, at least? And what is that new state of being that we build in our work that allows, state of being means sensations of the body, that allows us to be free even when it is the most challenging time. We're going to do the meditation for that in a moment, but what does the inner dialogue say? Yes, right?
Yes. Staying in the state of openness.
Right. Right. Oh, it is all true. Fresh page, open faith, commitment. The moment the thought comes, we embody it, recognizing that it's timely. No thought, no limitation that we set in our mind is somehow coincidental and doesn't belong. It belongs. As I am, as it is right now, is the number one thing that we need to remember. From here, this is the ground that we start from. At no point we say, oh, look at me. I mean, we do that all the time, but I'm saying, look at me, here I go again. I know this, why am I still? I've done this for so long, why am I still? Am I ever gonna?
To me, when we had that work on Friday,
Yes.
was a aha moment to say, my wisdom is not to arrive and achieve or overcome something. It's more like enjoying the journey and just be part of it, because it never stops. And then I proceeding with this as a target, like a goal, is something just a little bit, but if you go to experience, becomes your horizon that is always moving, and as long as you are going in that direction, you are allowing growth and change to come to you and you transform, but that is your new form. And that's always in oscillation of reality, because reality box you and puts challenges, but if you go through this as a journey,
Yes.
and not arriving, I think that's how
Right.
it keeps.
Right. So that was your aha moment, and you know what? Thank you, and I hope at home you heard it. I just quickly repeated that the aha moment was that somehow there was a new value to the journey over the outcome, over the destination. Recognizing that the journey will always continue, no matter how many destinations we set in our way, and if we're attached to the destination at times may actually feel like we're giving away our power to it, where the journey will always be empowering, like the horizon. As we come closer, it moves. Right? Beautiful.
And the wisdom knowledge that
Right.
you're gaining from experiences might be helpful for your future challenge, but
Right.
maybe not,
Right.
because wisdom is
Or
not
maybe it will be
about-
helpful for somebody else who will be next to you. Right? Sometimes, sometimes it's not only for us. Because our next step is ultimately the greatest level of joy is when we pass it on. And the next level of joy is when we pass it on to pass it on. That's grandparents, yeah?
When we talk about the challenge here, is it the external challenge? Is it challenge kind of outside the meditation challenge, or something inside?
Okay, when we're talking about a challenge, there's no difference. You challenge equally. You would think it's your external challenge because you see it in your reality state or action state or physical state or emotional state, or should say, or thought state or emotional state. You see it there to measure, but ultimately it's the same challenge. So when you come to your meditation, guess what? Whatever challenge you have in your reality, however it is that you view reality or take actions or physically, internally state of your body, that's exactly how you're challenged in your meditation. That's as much as you will not be able to maybe give freedom.
So there would be both, actually.
Well,
Definitely partly.
it may be both if you're experienced enough to notice it, but mostly you would only notice it at some places, but not in all places. Thankfully, we have the understanding of the order of things, so we understand that, let's not fool ourselves. If we've reached somewhere in our life, it's not because life somehow happened there, it's because there was this whole inner journey and outer journey that led us there, that is coincides with the karmic or energetic state, not any other way. Yeah?
Somehow that attitude of patience is, to me, feels like important when there's clear challenge. It's required.
Patience is the number one measure of how old you are. And I'm not talking horizontally now, I'm talking vertically. But yes, when somebody's impatient, you tell them what? Stop acting like a child. Come on. Right. I'll get a marker and I will mark something and then we'll do meditation.
We're deep in our
I'm just waiting for
We talked about faith, right? Did I miss something? Did I miss something?
No, Kevin, why are they so quiet? I mean, you're supposed to talk.
We're just waiting for the moment to ask the question.
So I'm saying, speaking of faith, I brought two markers. Better safe than sorry, right? If you have two, bring two, okay? So I don't know which one will mark. This one's working. There you go. First one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
How putting the past instead of the back in
Yes.
the future.
Yes.
Process when you say putting happens, if I understand, naturally to your. It's not something that you put in front of you, either during meditation, either somehow mentally. This is something happens as you go, as you do work, as you expand.
Okay, so let me answer your question first.
My understanding is that or I guess something that I don't have sure feel that I actually understand.
Okay. So there are a few questions here. I did mention that in the regular in the regular state of being, right, which we call survival, we have an order of linear time, right? Past, right? Present, and future. I'll put a bit. Okay? And that's the order. We move from past to present to future. So the survival state, we have our mind, right? And the survival state, when it meets an obstacle, it has a responsibility to continue moving forward. The train moves forward. And we are so adaptable as human beings. That is our uniqueness. That is our strength, the adaptability. No matter what. The body adapts to temperature. It adapts to discomfort. It adapts to all life situation. It adapts to everything. We actually, at times, prefer the familiar discomfort than any other promises. See that every time. We're so adaptable. So the mind, what it does, when it meets an obstacle, it has one of the two ways in which I know that it deals with an obstacle to ensure that it continues, so we can continue moving forward. It has to, as soon as possible, what we call put it behind us. You say, I've put this behind me, right? There are two ways we put it behind us so we can move on. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's past, right? It's past. So how do we do it? Two ways. One way, okay, knowledge and understanding. The more we know and understand, the more we're able to justify the situation, right? Rationalize it. You think it's right. Rationalize, right? Rationalize. I don't know if I put extra vowels to the words. All right, so we rationalize it, we justify it, and then you ask the person, so how are you feeling about it? Oh, I'm fine. I did therapy on myself. I did work on myself. So good. It's behind me now. And we accumulate all those things we've got behind us. The second very, very powerful way in which we do it is for those people who've had enough traumas in their life, they're naturally now experts at numbing themselves from discomfort. Now, in both situations, the reason why we're able to move forward is because we no longer feel the pain. So feeling the pain is ultimately the way, right, to help us move forward. But that also ensures that with every day, there are more and more and more things we have to put behind us and put behind us and put behind us. There's no growth in this. And eventually what we notice that as we move into the future is always lower than our past because there's so much we're carrying. It becomes more difficult and more difficult. Like I said to one of the students earlier this week, I said in the beginning, somebody has to do really something to us. They have to break something or throw something to get us aggravated. And later, all they have to do is look. And we're re-traumatized at that level as we have, right? Or not look. And suddenly we're just as traumatized. Again, and we put it behind us, right? We forgave and forgot. We don't even remember anymore that event. It was so many years ago. But it becomes more and more and more difficult. And now, at times, we even get traumatized when they don't do anything at all. We just imagine them doing or not doing something. From fear that it may end up that way and disappoint us again. We have about 100 different scenarios that re-traumatize us, and the poor person hasn't done anything yet. This is true. This is how it is. So eventually, of course, illness. This is how it comes. the reason why it actually works, because right now the mind, right, is free. The mind is free. You numb the sensations. What did you numb? You numb the sensations. Like that? Or S again? Sensations, yeah? You numb the sensations. And self-identity is about sensations. And this is why we get re-traumatized, even though the mind is free. I don't worry about anyone. But you're together, no? Yeah, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I learned how to deal with it. For years. It works. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. Because we numb the sensations, and the only thing that we have achieved solution is in the mind, in the imagination. Solution is only in the imagination. This is why, no matter what, because our self-identity, true self-identity, is in the sensations, then nothing really was solved. Actually accumulated and accumulated and accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. Now, how do we solve it? To answer Andre's question, so what do we do? Imagine that we put it in front of us now. But we have to remember every single little trauma and big trauma that ever happened, that they looked and didn't look, and we imagined them looking, and we imagined them saying, and they said one thing, and we thought they said another because we expected them to say it. Misunderstood them. No. What happens is that because our meditation is really a technique of transformation. So many ways. That's true. Transformation means the longest word in this board. No matter, no wonder it takes so long to achieve, right? What is transformation? Transformation is not a pleasant sensation. Transformation is not a pause from reality. Transformation is not a pleasant moment in our mind that allows us to make it through this moment until tomorrow. Transformation is expansion of the vocabulary of our senses. Transformation happens at the body level. Regardless of how much we remember or don't remember what has traumatized us, or whether we remember or don't remember what kept re-traumatizing us from that point on. So, transformation is what we're after. The law of transformation is ultimately the answer to the first question I asked. The law of transformation. What we seek. Now, but to answer your question, when you came to Lifeline Karma, what we've done, or let's start from when you first came to my office or came to the presentation, and you've never done transformational work before, and the first time I raised the level of energy, you didn't know, but your body started speaking. You started sensing things you did not know to sense. Your body started expressing things you did not know to desire. That's transformation. So the answer to the previous question, I said, what is it that we need to keep in mind when we are challenged? Be it in our life, and then we come to meditation, or be it in our meditation, right? Equal. We need to remind ourselves that we are here to transform, and therefore, true transformation means that you open yourself up to experience that you did not know to desire. And like Shirley said, at the level of the senses. So transformation is opening step the best way you can to an experience you didn't know to desire. Because everything is about desire. When there is no desire, there's no life. There's no desire, there's no movement. The survival state of desire is elevation of pain and a state in which that pain no longer happens. Transformation is opening yourself to a desire or an experience you did not know to desire. Transformation is opening yourself to an experience you did not know to desire. Without that, right? Now, when you are here and I raise the level of energy, with your help, literally, empower you. We give birth to new experience, both with words and the mindsets that I give you, and the words that encourage you to let go, to free, to not expect, to not judge. Every word I say, rebooting your mind, and with the energy that I raise, with the intention to give birth to new energy with you, we literally transform because you receive experience that you did not know to desire. And that experience is across the entire lifeline. That experience is also across the order of things. When you come for Lifeline Karma, we take it to the next level, and we literally speed up the process, where we take the books of the past, of trauma that and together, because you have agreed, we raise the energy, and for 40 minutes I work on one book, and in those 40 minutes, guess what you're doing? You're transforming. But you're gaining the sensations, the new sensations of what it means like to actually use your past as an asset. It's new for you. You did not know to desire. All your body desired is to put it behind you. We have literally put it in front and started giving you sensations that later, in every meditation, you have no choice. Just like when you gain the balance in water. Once we've experienced it, it's yours. From that point on, you get better and better at it, right? Every time we're here together, we get better and better at what we've already achieved together at the level of the sensations of the body. My words have nothing else but to encourage you not to interfere with the process, to keep you in the train and not letting you get off at every station that seems to be exciting and interesting. Let me experience this a little bit more. I wish we reach another place. I say, no, just look at what is. Yeah? Enjoy what is. Keep going, don't get off. Don't run in front, yeah? Stay here, as you are. Look out of the window. That's all. Enjoy. Does that make sense?
That's part of still understanding is how book spoke about 40 minutes becomes an inspiration, so that inspiration making process, and we just in the process.
You're not sure how it becomes an inspiration?
Yes.
Exactly the same way as when when we start our work together and I raise the energy, you start experiencing movement and sensations.
That part I'm clear.
Okay, so how you're not clear?
Part when the book, this book becomes something that is being worked on, right? Somehow that part becomes the source.
So you want to know what you desire first? Then you're in a good place. At the body level.
I understand that the body level, part of the body level, the part of the ability to develop the ability to step into that known desire, the experience. If you don't know the desire, but to be open for the experience, openness to that known.
It's a little bit off this class, but I will answer that question. It's not part of the basics, but I will still answer. Remember when I said that when I do a diagnosis, the only way for me to do a diagnosis is to give first, is to raise the energy first. So in a sense, every time I diagnose, I have to raise the energy at that place where I diagnose.
That phrase inspires higher energy on all levels.
It's pure intention. The fact that I'm able to see those traumas, that means that I have to start raising the energy there. How else would I see it? If I can see it, if I can identify moments of trauma, and I can see the experience of those moments, that means I have to start working with them. And once I start working with them, guess what you feel? Transformation there. You have no choice because of our agreement. This is why when a person comes to do a diagnosis with me, they have to fill out a whole thing of information, which I rarely ever read. I mean, rarely. I never read, unless I have to read the name of the person just to make sure the right person gets the form. But that which they're filling out is ultimately, for a complete stranger who's never been there, ultimately it's an expression of commitment to desiring me and allowing me to look at their energy. That's all it's for. The same way as when you sign something. There's a connection, commitment, extension. So to some degree, when we sit together and you agree to do the lifeline karma, there is a door that you open. And the moment I am able to diagnose it, and the more open you are, the more I'm able to do. And then you start sensing the experience. Even for somebody else. But you're sensing for somebody else because of the overlap between, right? Here, you're the same. You're one. Make sense? At home, does that make sense what we're saying here? A little advanced, but okay. So let me ask a question again. When we are challenged, back to basics, when we are challenged, and we're challenged every day with something else, right? We've accumulated a lot of reasons to be challenged, be it in this lifetime or past lifetimes, combination of all. And the need to connect right now with others creates an even greater challenge today than ever before. Expectations of each other. So when we begin our meditation, and there's a tendency of the mind to say, aha, I have to do this meditation because what do we remind ourselves? Andrew.
Fresh page. Well, for me, it's fresh page all the time because I come first with everything happening in the day, but that is a fresh page. It's almost I have to force myself to just forget everything that happened. And sometimes I still bring it in. I don't know, just when you say fresh page,
Yes, like that. Okay.
it's one is set it, the second, but the other thing is to actually be successful at doing it.
Fresh page. Like a child at play. Lift life. Drop by drop.
Hit the switch.
Change the channel.
Lift
Remote control.
the switch. Enter a new door.
Remote control.
Let yourself be surprised. You can write a book just of the how many terms in every meditation we use, right? Just to free yourself. Today, the term is open yourself. To experience that which you didn't or do not know. Thank you. Yeah, it fit. Now everything fits very into it. And that helps us to transform at the level of the body senses. Which ultimately, that is the key. That is what holds us back when we know we should continue, we know we should do this, we know just this thing will free us, we know we should go ahead and something is holding us, and then the mind takes us and justifies and rationalizes, and we just don't cross that line again and again and again. Every time it becomes harder and harder and harder to cross that line. The same body sensations often, right? The mind said you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't take it. You shouldn't drink this. You shouldn't eat this. Right? You shouldn't go there. You shouldn't say it. Yet, somehow you end up there again, 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 and again, because it's not there. And for the more advanced experience, we talked about the fact that transformation right now is transformation of speech. Why? Because between thought and action, we did not know it, is speech. Inner dialogue and outer dialogue, outer words. We didn't know. We didn't know it was there when we were just reactive. We don't know it's there. Then we don't know its true value. In our meditation, because it's transformational, we not only have self-regulation, we have higher connection every time. Self-regulation setting, and then we have inner. Not affirmations, is the open new door. And then all of this brings us to experience of our body. At the very core, basic level of our senses, at the level where an infant experiences. That's where truth lies. Okay? That's what we do here. Nutshell. Then we have many different ways because we're so unique. All of us are unique. Even though it's exactly the same information, all of us have something important inside that we need to awaken. And therefore, the different ways in which we approach it help everyone at different stages to awaken their true self. Even we need it in many different ways. Today, one way, tomorrow, a new way. Continue, yeah.
In the beginner's question, so when I'm at home and I'm listening to one of the meditations,
Yes.
when I say the keys with my inner voice,
Yes.
is it possible for my inner voice to be also be an external voice as well?
So you're asking, is it okay if you scream it out?
Oh yeah, just say it out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what happens really when we're in greatest pain or the highest level of happiness, we can't hold it. scream it out. But the truth is that unless you cannot hear your own inner voice, there's no need for it. At times you scream it out when you're alone, it's okay. But the technique is not out external. External is for survival, for other people to hear. It's for our everyday life. What we do with inner voice, it's not an affirmation. This is why it's important to remember. It's not an affirmation. We're not trying to achieve that which is described in the inner key. We're using that as a technology to enter to a place we did not know to desire in the experience. Very important. It's not an affirmation. And because it's not an affirmation, the same inner key will allow us to enter a different place each and every time. That key, even the way we say it, what the energy behind it will also be different every single time. We will have aha moments in exact same words that we've said for years as far as inner keys. They will have new meaning for us in parallel to the fact that they will also open different doors, different places. The same inner keys. So saying it out loud and the logical level doesn't have but at the same time, when you're at home and nobody's there, it's not even about the inner key. If you need to scream, scream. If you need to moan, moan. If you need to breathe, breathe. It's not about hearing it or not hearing it. Because the true activation of inner dialogue is not external. The inner dialogue that comes between thought and action is not external. We don't need for others to hear it, and we don't need to say it for our ears to hear.
Just to make
Yeah.
danger, as I said, it's not an affirmation,
Right.
but it is an intent, a desire.
That's why I keep saying that I want to receive a lot of energy. It's a desire. And then comes conditions in which. So there's a fine line. Let's say at the level of, and I will give an example that the best way I can. Child cannot have both. For a child, every word is an affirmation. That's it. Child doesn't have something hidden behind, deep meaning behind every word, something that it is intended to do, which it's not there. For a child, is impossible to grasp. A hat is a hat. You ask a child, what is a hat? Have you seen, have you ever read The Little Prince? Right at the beginning, he drew, right? And he asked his parents what it was. And they said it was a hat. He said, no, it's a snake who swallowed an elephant.
Child, you said it's always an affirmation.
I know. Little Prince is not for children.
No. Child is always an affirmation.
For a child, what you see is what you get. He sees that and that's it.
But he desires that.
Right. What he sees is what he gets, right. But we have more options. As a programmer, right? As a programmer, you have passwords. You place a password. the key, the little teeth in it. Or code. Right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, or your name. Password, right? Your name is not you. Your name is an access to higher potential. Behind it, it's constantly evolving, constantly changing. Password. So inner keys are ultimately passwords. Why? Because they change meaning for us based on positive energy. Change meaning all the time. So holding on to that as an affirmation, take away the expansion of that meaning behind those words.
Just to understand affirmation, you say affirmation is self-convincing almost. Affirmation for me is something that you say out loud until you actually believe in it or make it feel or kind of reinforce. This is how I understand affirmation. So it's basically
Your understanding of affirmation is probably better than mine. I'm just
convincing, right?
Right.
But it's a key, a true desire coming from the heart, or
inner key. When I say, I'll tell you what I mean by
fine line, and it's
there's no fine line. There's no fine line. There's no fine line. Inner key is not the final destination. That's the final. No matter how much it is inspiring you, no matter how much you agree or don't understand it, yet it's not the final destination. That's all.
It's a trigger.
Right.
Like an affirmation is like a
Yes.
destination versus a key is unlocking something that you may not know about.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then with the word want versus the word desire, is there a difference in like the energy behind the word want and desire?
There's a lot of difference, yeah. Up to me. There's a lot of difference. Okay. Thank you. Meditation. Let's stand up at home as well. Maybe we should take 3 minutes just to regroup, and then we'll go. Back to basics, huh? That was very professional. I saw it.
Then
Okay, we could begin self-regulating, and a few more minutes we're gonna begin. Those who are here already, let's, as always, begin from a standing posture, eyes closed. Simply let the body self-regulate. Now, with all this lecture and explanation, there's all kinds of expectations now of ourselves, right? This is what I was talking about in the beginning. All those expectations now, am I doing it right? So let go of all those expectations right away. As you are, as it is right now, no expectations. Trusting your body. You cannot make a mistake. There's another one I use. And you will never make it perfect either. As you get better at this, it will move away from you. You will need more. It's a good thing. Okay. Eyes closed. Let it take you. Take you. Beautiful. Seen another thing very interesting when I was doing some lifeline karma work. That those who did it for someone else, it was easier for them than when they did it for themselves. And others was the opposite. Very interesting. And let it guide you. Let it flow like water would through pipes. Patience with yourself. Literally, allow to experience the level of the body something that you did not know to desire. That experience, that kind of mindset. In this kind of mindset, it seems that everything fits. Faith fits. New fresh page fits. Childlike experience fits. No judgment fits. No comparisons fit. No expectations fit. Everything fits. This is why we separate meditation from any other activity, creative or not creative, any other activity. Because in any other activity, there are desires to be fulfilled. In meditation, you open yourself to that which you do not desire, do not know to desire. That's why it's so sacred, that's why it's so special, that's why it needs its own time. You cannot have both. You cannot have both. One is transformation. That's it. Beautiful, beautiful. Notice the energy. Wow. I talk about two kinds of aha moments. I usually ask, do you have an aha moment? Please share with me. Two kinds of aha moment. What is an aha moment? That you remember what happened before the aha moment, how you saw the world, and how you saw the world after the aha moment. There are two kinds of aha moments. One is trauma, and another is transformation. You know it's an aha moment because there is how you saw it before and now how you see it after. To some degree, transformational aha moments are signs and signals of being born again, of finding new meaning in everything you already know. Because of the order of things. Once we have a transformational aha moment, it transforms everything, including shifting you into a new reality. Not only redefining, but also because of your new decisions. It gears you into another direction. And also physical, health, different kind of relation inside your body. We say 99% of transformation is not conscious. Even more than that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Simple. Let's make it simple. Notice the sensations of the body. Allow the body to move, to shake, to twist, to bend, to be still, to internally, externally express, dance, internal, external, breath, thoughts, bringing back to the body. Everything is free, in unity. One intention right now. To open yourself up to that which you do not know to desire. Then experience. And not make a mistake. Excellent. Even more freedom. Another mindset that I've been guiding through lately is using the floor and recognizing that at the physical level, we sense the floor beneath our feet, beneath our body as a limitation. And because of the limitation of the floor, or of this room, or of our own body, we somehow also come into the meditation with a certain limitation. So, recognizing that the floor is not a limitation for our inner expansion. We expand without any relation to the physical confinement. Reminding yourself of that may take you out of the predisposition of limitation, of the physical limitation. The habitual limitation. What we are doing right now, the floor, this room, is not a limitation. And what we know about our body, we only know the functions that we're familiar with. Then also recognize they're not the limitation. There's more to our organs and systems than their functions. That will help a lot. almost like coming to the library and talking to the librarian and only seeing her as a librarian, not a woman, a mother, a sister, a daughter, philosopher, a writer, but just a librarian. I don't know why that thought came to me. Maybe somebody will help me later. Let me know why. Our body is more than what function that it performs at this moment. There we go. Love me, not what I do for you or don't do for you. Let's use inner keys, inner commands to express that same mindset. Here we go. First inner key. Please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to that which I do not know to desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my head and my neck. And your head and your neck right now is a new friend you've never met before. No limitation to what that floor of the body is for you. And experience. Allow. That's next inner key, next inner command. Please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to that which I do not know to desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my hands, arms, and shoulders. More freedom. Again, reminding yourself that now the experience of the floors of the body are also a fresh page, are also at the state of, I don't know what to desire there. Beautiful. Listen to the body. Beautiful. Trust it. Next inner key. Next inner command, please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to that which I do not know the desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my chest cavity, means front and back, everywhere, not only what you see in the mirror. And experience your body. After every key, we bring ourselves back to the experience of the body, because that is where we expand, unite, accept. Suddenly, the inner command of, I do not know what to desire, has a physical experience, the level of the senses. Suddenly, the as I am, as it is right now, ensures that we do not doubt this experience. for any reason, suddenly the I want is the expression of your true choice. I, you said, not anyone else, not any other time, but I want. It's my choice, not coincidence. And then I'm free. By noticing each moment, you unite. By allowing each moment to express, you're in full unity. What we achieve at the level of the senses, we have achieved at the level of our being. That's the only reason why postures matter or sensations matter. The only reason why they have headstands. It's not to prove that you can do it. Beautiful. Next inner key, next inner command, please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to accept that which I do not know to desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my upper abdomen. And fill my upper abdomen. Trust it. I'm going to raise the energy a little higher. There. Notice. Beautiful. Next inner key, next inner command, please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself, to accept that which I do not know to desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my lower abdomen. My lower abdomen. That's it. More freedom. All the way, all the way. Nothing to hold back. Next inner key, next inner command. Please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to accept that which I do not know to desire. It's a big statement. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my legs and feet. Beautiful. Final key for this meditation. Please repeat it with your inner voice. I want to receive a lot of energy. To open myself to that which I do not know to desire. As I am, as it is right now. And fill my entire body. Head to toes, top to bottom of my spine. And free yourself. You are free. Don't be fooled by gravity. Beautiful. You've done amazing, amazing. As soon as you're ready, please take your time, open your eyes, have a seat. For a few moments. Just to get those at home involved a little bit. Marco, I know that your shoulders needed to open up, and if you were paying attention, you may have felt the need to either, spin your arms somehow to open the shoulders, or even when you're on the floor, you may have pushed against the floor to open the shoulders. Please let me know if you've experienced it and how did it work for you. Jerome, for some reason, I sense that you were clenching your fists through the meditation, and maybe at times you were on your knees, but yet with your fists closed against the floor. So there was that need to tighten everything inside. So let me know if that was the case. Surely a lot of work in the legs and then the limbs of the legs and the knees. Please let me know how that expressed. It was probably mostly on the floor. With Phil, likely first a lot of extension upwards and maybe standing on your toes. And then if you did go on the floor, it would be extension on the floor as well. Jennifer, a lot of breathing. A lot of attention to the breath today. So more quiet on the body, more attention to the breath. Let me know how that was. Vicky, you were dancing, spinning as always. I could see that. I know, right? She's a past life ballerina or something of that kind. Anyway, so please let me know how that manifested for you and how you're feeling right now. Beautiful here. The energy is just beautiful. Laughter is a good medicine. And usually there's no reason for it, right? Was there a reason? No reason, just laughing. Beautiful. Thank you. Andre? Yes, better?
Yes.
Lighter?
Lighter, much lighter. And the work when we said the environment shouldn't be a restriction, but somehow I know that there is some. When you said it,
Thank you.
here, I'm afraid
You always have that, sometimes, when I gain a little bit of weight and I drive in my car, I feel that I'm not going to pass through spaces which are narrow. Then when I lose weight, I'm easily passing through. So there's that. So you're a big guy, and you feel that you need more room everywhere you go, in more than one way. So,
I'm going to start spinning in my head.
yeah. I mean, the ceiling could be higher here. You're right. Stand right in this between the panels.
This time was the first one I wanted to lift, so I sensed it and actually pushed so hard, just to press my back. It's interesting something.
Also understand that your body, even with your closed eyes, knows your environment. I mean, remember Naveed using the chair?
Yep.
We had a student, very advanced, and he literally did postures with and in the chair. He went inside the chair with his legs and twisted it around and used the chair. The chair was riding him, right? For an hour. It's not like, so, right? Your body knows what's around. Be conscious, because sometimes what happens, why do we need to be cautious? Because a lot of times we go that extra, little bit extra, proving our own freedom beyond what the body really needs. We still have that I will take it next more than I will allow my body to take. So that's why the cautious is necessary. Otherwise, your body knows. Right? Candice, how did it go?
Expanded, moving light.
Right. You take the entire room now. Yeah? That's what it feels like. It's all yours now. Good, thank you. Brad?
I noticed a few times forgetting about the space. We talk about the surroundings.
Right.
The furniture, the floor, the gravity.
Yes.
It didn't matter.
Good.
Almost like being in a
Right.
weightless state. There was weight, but it didn't.
It was
It
weight.
didn't feel like enough, like some kind of.
It's not enough, it's not restrict. It's weight that helps
Part, yeah,
the process and not restricts the process.
became a natural part.
Right. Right. That's the thing.
There are a few times now.
You see, we can't help it. All our life we've lived in a physical environment, obeying physical laws, and we can't help it but bring it into our meditation and to some degree restricting our inner growth because of some external limitation that we didn't even know that we were holding on to. So our energy is much greater now already, yet small little things.
I can start with the statement that I'm feeling very
Happy.
and even though we are doing this work for very long time,
Yes.
but this again aha moment for me today was even though like my mind was in and out and thinking of problems that
Right.
I carry on coming
Right.
here, but for the first time I was able to almost like zoom out of it and then really say the key. And when I was saying key with my inner voice, I really felt that I'm going back to my energy level. It was so beautiful.
Wow.
Like I'm going into that pure unknown
Yes.
and I'm experiencing happy moments that I will, I'm desiring the level to open up myself to the level that I don't know. And I was so happy. And the last key, I felt almost like in a big aura and it's gold and red and like it was like a dragon energy, like
Yes.
something like to be born or it's like a
Feeling renewal. It's a renewal
Yeah.
coming out of the ashes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it
I really
means. That's
felt
what it
that
means.
reaching out to 10th chakra. Like, remember you were talking and
Yes.
telling us and teaching us. And
Yeah.
I didn't feel like mind, like logically, theoretically, I understood. Today I almost like touched
Yes.
and I'm happy.
Beautiful. And for everyone who's listening, don't only listen with your ears. Listen with the experience, because she's speaking from such deep truth that you could feel the energy of that truth. Because it wasn't something she initiated. She didn't know to desire. And now it's not about that.
Yeah.
See? It's not about that. It's about now transforming your entire experience of self. But 99%, the transformation is not at the level of the conscious understanding. It's at the body level. It's at the level of how you unite internally and externally with everything, past, future. Anyways,
And if I
with a
may-
true unity. Yeah.
And if I may say, I feel like almost like I opened the door,
Yes.
but I don't know what is there. And I'm now going through this journey to really experience or like witness or become part of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And listen to her energy. Just feel what's happening right now. As she's speaking her truth, I'm raising the energy higher. There's something opening for all of us. This is what happens when we are in unity and someone touches truth. Everybody, because of our overlap, experiences that truth. Thank you. Wow. Okay, here we go. Responses from home. Jennifer. Okay, private message. Yes, you're correct. I did focus a lot on my breathing tonight. Big smile. Thank you, Jennifer. Marco. I did go to the floor after a while, but I was restricted due to the space I was in, and my arms were trying to reach further out than I could. Okay, interesting. Phil says, hi, Eric. Yes, I did some extension standing at first, then went to the floor and continued right on. Thank you, Phil. Everybody else are probably still writing responses. Right. Okay. Okay, I think we're done for today, guys. Thank you so much. And the replay is available for you to watch again. I will make the meditation available as well. And do the audios help? The fact that I'm sending you?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay.
That's the only during the commute because of traffic.
Right. Right. So during the commute, you can re-listen to it. You'll hear things you didn't hear before in a new way as well. So just download them to your device and listen to them again. We have time. Okay. Thank you so much. Until next time. And Fairly says yes, and a very long sacred senses. Thank you. Thank you so much.